Good afternoon. My name is Veronica Weidemann, and I will be presenting Training Day Case Study. We will analyze motivation by asking a series of questions. Question 1. Did the training at Kentuckiana Works contribute to workers' intrinsic or extrinsic motivation? Let's look at it closer. A real-life example comes from a man named James Michael Longston. He was an auto mechanic for many years when the company he built and owned went out of business in 2015. Kentuckiana Works was there to help. Kentuckiana Works is a free program geared towards blue-collar workers just like Mr. Longston and helps by giving education and training courses along with connecting scholars with possible employers. Within 5 weeks, he was certified as a production technician, a CPT, and hired a few weeks later at Atlas Copco AB, a Swedish tool and equipment production company. Now, the definition of intrinsic motivation, according to the Business Dictionary, is stimulation that drives an individual to adopt or change a behavior for his or her own internal satisfaction or fulfillment. An individual with intrinsic motivation drives to explore new things. They're motivated to learn. They have a feeling of accomplishment. They're self-determined and can be inspired by added internal responsibilities. They enjoy doing an activity and they feel empowered. They want to be recognized for valuable company resources, and they desire to be remembered as an innovator. Now, the definition of extrinsic motivation, according to the Business Dictionary, is a drive to action that springs from outside influences instead of one's own feelings. The external rewards can increase interest and participation in something that previously the individual had no interest in. Extrinsic rewards can be motivated to gain new skills and knowledge. These skills may help people become more intrinsically motivated to pursue the activity themselves. External rewards can also be a source of feedback, letting people know when they have done well. The story about James Michael Longston shows both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation at work. Intrinsic motivation is seen by his motivation to reach out to Kentuckiana Works, a company he had not previously worked with, showing his internal drive. You can also see his intrinsic motivation in his keenness to learn new skills. James is externally motivated as well. External motivation can be seen when he receives his certification, showing he accomplished his goals. I believe he must have been externally motivated by finances as well. Due to the loss of his business, having no income externally motivated him to get a new job. Question 2. How might this training boost workers' motivation levels? The expectancy theory perspective, theorized by Victor H. Vroom in 1960s, said that motivation is high when workers believe the following: that high levels of effort lead to high performance, and that high performance leads to the attainment of desired outcomes. Now, looking at our graph that we found, it says that effort goes into performance by using the expectancy, a person's perception about the extent to which his or her effort will result in a certain level of performance. Now, performance goes into outcomes by using instrumentality, a person's perception about the extent to which performance at a certain level will result in the attainment of outcomes. Now, this creates outcomes, also known as balance. How desirable each of the outcomes available from a job or organization is to a person. Now, balance is associated by an individual's expected outcome. It is not the actual satisfaction that an employee expects to receive. It's faith that better efforts will result in better performance. Expectancy is influenced by factors such as possession of skills to performing the job, the availability of resources, the availability of information, and getting support for job completion. Motivation levels are influenced by psychological forces, which determine direction of a person's behavior in an organization. They're also influenced by a person's level of effort, their level of persistence in the face of obstacles, and direction of a person's behavior refers to the many behaviors a person can engage in. Question number 3. How might this training help satisfy workers' needs? When learners are concerned about certain needs, their behavior is centered on meeting those needs. Now, Maslow said in 1943 that needs are categorized into a hierarchy in which certain needs must be met before others. Lower needs must be satisfied before higher order needs can be reached. Behaviors will be centered on meeting the needs in the lowest order, and then will progress to higher orders as needs are satisfied. Humans are fueled by a desire to achieve goals, and attaining goals helps humans satisfy specific needs and desires. Question number 4. How might this training boost motivation? Training can help employees understand how their work fits into their company's structure, mission, goals, and achievements. As a result, employees can become more motivated and excited about their work as they understand how what they do matters to the success of the organization. Training helps employees realize their goals by giving them the education they need, not only to do their jobs better, but to learn about new aspects of business and even higher level managerial skills they can use down the line. Now, training is an investment employers make in their workforce. When companies offer training and education to their employees, they indicate that they value their people and the contributions that they make. They also send a message that the organization values progress, both in organizational achievements as well as in the careers of their people. Naturally, this creates attachment, loyalty, and enthusiasm among staff. Social learning theory perspective involves observational learning. People learn from one another via observation, imitation, and modeling. Retention is remembering what you paid attention to, which includes mental images, cognitive organization, and symbolic rehearsal. Reproduction is producing the image, including physical capabilities and self-observation of reproduction. Motivation is having a good reason to imitate. Includes motives such as past, promised, and vicarious. Question 5. How can people be motivated by observing others, other people's behavior, and being reinforced for doing so? Vicarious learning is derived from indirect sources, hearing or observation, rather than hands-on instruction. Question number 6. How can people be motivated to control their behavior themselves? Self-reinforcement. Individuals can control their own behavior by rewarding themselves when standards of performance has been attained or surpassed. Question number 7. How can people's beliefs about their ability to successfully perform a behavior affect motivation? Self-efficacy. a belief we have in our own abilities, the ability to meet challenges ahead of us, and complete a task successfully, refers to our overall belief in our ability to succeed. I would recommend Kentuckiana Works to individuals who are currently out of a job because their business setup fosters extrinsic and intrinsic motivation in individuals. This fostering of motivation leads to expectancy theory perspective. By the end of their time with Kentuckiana Works, individuals achieve their goal of having employment. This shows the social learning theory perspective as the individual working with Kentuckiana Works is rewarded with education, certification, and employment.